Hey, my name's Justin, and this is The Art of Repair. And today we are going to completely elevate your game, because today you're getting a 5-in-1. That's right, you're getting 5 whole tips in just one video. You heard me right. I said 5 tips in one video, and I know what you're thinking right now. I know you're totally thinking, Justin, calm down. There's no way that I can process that much information in this small little video. You've got to slow down. But I promise you, all you're going to need for today's video is one simple little thing: a 3-pound jeweler's anvil. That's right. One of these simple little things costs, I think, for the highest quality one is at most $20-25 on Amazon. But this right here is going to do 5 totally different things. They're going to absolutely elevate your game and change the way you do a lot of stuff. And I know that this little block has changed the way I do things, and I know it's for the better. So we're going to go ahead and jump on in here. We're going to take a look, and I'm going to show you every one of these tips and every one of these things that you can do with this little steel block, and I know you're going to absolutely love it. All right, Justin, you promised me 5 different uses for this jeweler's anvil. It's time to cough them up. Let's hear them. What makes this thing so great, okay? First and foremost, it's cheap, okay? That's not a tip. I'm just saying this thing's cheap, okay? The reason I say that is because our first tip is we're going to use this thing as a board holder. And if we think about the #1 board holder in the industry right now, we're talking about that really crappy piece of junk Hakoam device. That thing is absolutely worthless. I literally only use mine. I glued my tip tinner to the top of it. It's just so I don't lose my tip tinner. It's junk. And I'm going to tell you why. Because this 3-pound steel block, I mean, even just the bare tip here, okay? We haven't moved our board at all. We haven't lost any of our working distance in the microscope, which is very, very important. But look at that. It is solid. Absolutely solid. We have a 3-pound giant mass of steel holding it down, okay? In fact, it doesn't have to be on the corner. You can just stick it on top. It's whatever. It ain't going nowhere, okay? So that's your first amazing, awesome tip. Okay, cool. I mean, I get it. That makes sense, Justin. You got 3 pounds of steel. You got a board. Just stick it on top. That was simple. Okay, I could have figured that one out. Okay, no big deal. But let's move to the next one. Okay, the next one you may not have thought of. This one is absolutely going to elevate your game. Check this out. We're going to take it away for a second, all right? For a minute here, I just want you to, again, scenario with me. We're going to grab our hot air, and let's just say for funsies, we're going to go ahead and grab this Touch IC. We're going to come on in here, and I want you to watch my hands. Now, at this point, me personally, I'm running, close to 370 degrees centigrade coming out of here. And you're telling me that you're not going to burn yourself? What? Now watch this. This thing is almost an inch tall, okay? So when that air comes down, and you're going to miss it if you're not paying attention here, tip number 2 is this thing is going to keep the heat away from you and allow you to work in the same areas that you did before without fear of getting burned. Check this out. So the air is going to come out here super hot, but it's going to come up on this crevice. Now, this crevice is literally a giant steel block with a lot of thermal mass. It can take a lot of energy. You can get down in here and you can work on stuff. Nobody's going to be able to stop you because all that heat is going to be directed into this steel block, not your freaking hand. So right there, that's tip number 2. Protect your hand by elevating your game, okay? Now, let's move on to that third tip. Tip number 3. Check this out. So let's just imagine we're already here. We're working on something. We get our hot air back out. No big deal. We're doing our thing. But for some reason this morning, we're coming in here, and let's just move it down just a little bit here. Let's pick another component. Let's say we're grabbing this up, and that's pretty big. That's that's not ultra small or anything, but you just had a little too much coffee and you kind of miscalculated a bit, and you're down in there and you're kind of shaky, all right? And you don't want that. Nobody really wants the shakes. So what we can do here is, if you watch my hand right here, this one's kind of crazy, but it's so simple. Look at that. I'm just going to touch it. I'm going to slide it down. And if you look at the video here, I mean, my tweezers are absolutely just steady as a rock. They're not going anywhere. You can heat it up. You can lift it up. Boom. You're good to go, all right? You are keeping everything out of the way, and you are stabilizing your hand with the steel block. That's right there. That's number 3, okay? All right, so if you're ready for number 4, here we go. We're going to use this thing as a heat sink, Okay, so long time ago I made a video showing how you can use this as a heat sink, but I'm gonna go ahead and give you an example here. So say for instance we're gonna grab a little chip down here. Doesn't matter which one, something in this bottom area. We all know to be aware of our surroundings, and we've got to heat sink stuff around it to prevent further damage to the rest of the board, right? Okay, cool. So this NAND right here, that's a sensitive spot. We got to heat sink it. Let's grab a penny. Just stick it there. Grab a quarter. Grab something. What if you're just extra sketched out? What if the processor's in the way? What if something's crazy? You're going to need a crazy heat sink, right? Cool, no big deal. Let's just take our big old block and set it on the problem area. I promise you there is enough thermal mass that you are going to absolutely be A-okay. Now, this is going to lead me into my fifth and final tip, okay? If we know our laws of thermodynamics, we know that everything wants to reach equilibrium in its own system, okay? So say you're done working on a board, it's super duper hot, you're grabbing your little blower here, you're trying to cool it down, you're doing your thing, you sit down, you go grab some coffee, you come back. But what if I told you there was an easier way? What if I told you we can use the laws of thermodynamics to our advantage here, okay? Remember, we've been talking about this the whole time. This giant block of steel is a huge thermal mass. That's all it is. It's a big steel block, okay? It's going to pull heat away. So we're just going to take the board when it's done, and we're just going to let it on top. And it's going to cool off 10 times faster than it would if you did it with any other way. Just letting it sit out, it's going to have to radiate out, okay? This steel block's literally going to pull the heat directly out of it. It's going to be cool way faster. So there you go. You got 5 tips in one video with one tool that's going to change the way you do your micro soldering. The jeweler's anvil. Gonna put the link down in the description. Pick it up on Amazon. Don't forget, guys, if you're interested in any of the tools I use, check out the description below. I even have my own custom tools that I sell down there as well that literally do not exist anywhere else on the planet except from The Art of Repair. I also have a Patreon where you can help support the channel so I can create even better high quality content.